Hey guys, Cajun Rob here, and gonna share a lure I was kind of hard-headed for a long time. Didn't want to fish with, didn't think it'd work, but last couple of years it really made a believer, and I believe if you use this on your local pond or lake, you'll be have as much success as I have on it. It's the old venerable stick bait, 5 inch. This is a Gary Yamamoto. He was the original inventor of it. You can pick them up at your local Walmart. Save you a few bucks. I like the green pumpkin, like this one. Works pretty good. Also, one of my favorite colors, especially around bluegill when they're bedding up, is the green pumpkin with the chartreuse tail. That's a real knockout color there. But really, I've really had a lot of success with, and it's a little, I think, holds up a little better and get a little more bang for your buck now, as I use the Gambler Ace. Ace is their 5 inch model. Got in the green pumpkin there. And also sometimes when it's kind of dark or I'm doing some other techniques, the black and blue flake. A little blue tail there really works well. And if I really want to go heavy cover, flipping and pitching, they got a 6 inch model called the Fat Ace. You can see I've used quite a few of them. It was a 5 count, so you can tell I've been using them quite a bit. Anyway, I'm going to show a few tricks that I've learned over the years, help you on your fishing. That's one of the lures that this can work from top water, just right under the surface, the mid-range, and even on the bottom, shallow to deep. So it's a really versatile bait. I know everybody got, some guys like shallow, some guys like deep, but this will fit fish whatever way you want to do it. So give you a few tricks here real quick. First is how you rig it. There's several different ways to rig it, but I'll just give you the basics here at first. One hook I've had a lot of success with and used a lot. This is the Gamakatsu Skip Gap. It's a 4/aught. And I'll rig it up here real quick for you. On these, another good rigging tip, you got a little line here. In production, it's kind of hard to see on the camera here, but you'll have a little line all the way down, and that really keeps you lined up. So go down about an 8 for a quarter. Come out on the line, feed her up, and I always like leaving the hook eye outside the lure. That kind of helps. I think kind of helps lock it in. And you can see kind of where it comes in at. So I kind of mark it with my thumb. You want to bend it, come through the worm like that. You see it kind of comes out like that. And what they do is called skin hook. You see where you got your little gap there. What you do is kind of pull the worm up, pull it down, and covers up the very point of it. When a fish bite it, it will pop and get him hooked in there real good. But that works real good on skipping. And I like using that on, well, you can use it on either spinning or casting. I like using it on casting gear myself. No weight, just said the worm's pretty hefty itself, but I say I throw it out. I like throwing it. My favorite setup for this is probably the 7-foot medium Enigma Phenom, probably about 12-pound fluorocarbon. You can use mono if you want, save you a little money. I like the fluorocarbon, and skip it, pitch it. You'll be amazed what this thing does. You can probably fish this weekend. I'll make some footage of it skipping. This skips fairly well, but the wacky worm skips a lot better. You about have to stop it. It skips so well. But anyway, when it goes in the water, what it do? It'll flutter down. So that just the weight of it and the salt, it'll flutter. And that drives fish crazy. So I like throwing it in the weed holes up around docks and whatnot. But that thing really has a flutter. Now, if you can't find the ones with a little chartreuse tail, you can use a little dip and die. Dip maybe a quarter. If you see a lot of bluegill swimming around, dip that tail. Another trick you can do, you can kind of scratch. Don't have either one. You can kind of scratch the tail, and that salt will make it lighten up. You can see it kind of lightens up a little bit. So you can scratch that a little bit, make it a little accent to it there. Anyway, that's the weightless Texas rig. So that's pretty easy setup. I said you can use it on spinning gear, but I like using it on casting gear. But that's a fish catching little machine right there. Alright. Next one we go over is the wacky style. And kind of what the name says is you'll put a hook here. This is a little 1/0. It's got a little weed guard on it here. But you'll basically just put it kind of center the worm. And you can find there's 2 lines each side. I'll try to match it up. So, and boy, that thing, you talk about some action. That thing gets in the water and it shakes around. It'll hit the water and it'll kind of vibrate down. And there's a couple of tricks in that I'll show you. But this skips really well. This skips a lot. Will skip better than the Texas rig. But I will use this style on spinning gear. See, like I'll do a little better on spinning gear, a little better casting distance. I'll show you a couple of tricks on here too. Because when you do wacky worm, these will tend to tear after a fish or two if you're lucky. So one thing you can use, they call this a little wacky tool. Wacky worm tool. It's a long cylinder. You got little O-rings like that. And what you do is you got a hollow in there, stick your big end in there, slide your wacky, you put your little O-ring on there. You can kind of slide it around if you want to. Some guys will use 2 of them and make like an X on it and then put the hook in the middle. So it's kind of personal preference on that. Say if you just want to use one, see, I can move it up a little bit. I'll move it up a little bit. This will save you kind of some time and money in the long run and day. And you'll just hook it in. Hook it right under that little O-ring. Sometimes you can put it a little bit of the worm, it's fine. But just like that. I say if you use the X, instead of the hook going this way, you can have it pointing straight out, which does help hooking a little bit. So making 2 little O-rings into X, put the hook towards you, will help you out if you're missing some fish doing this regular way with just one. So that will help you out. Alright, another way, if you want to fish it a little deeper, there's a couple different ways you can do it. That's a little weighted wacky hook. It's got your little weed guard there. If you can see it real good there. You do the same thing. You can hook it through the middle, or you can use the O-ring, either way. But this little weight will help it sink faster, so you'll get a little action and you can fish it a little deeper. And another way they've come out, you can do the wacky style. Let me get it on my box here. You can do what they call Nico style or nail weight. A little nail weight. See if I got one in here. Yep, sure do. There's some. Let me get them out of there. Yep. And that's your little nail weight. Now you can use, some guys use a little Hardwell, like trim finishing nails. This one's got little ridges. And what you can do is put it in, just insert it in the tail. Some guys will cut that little bit of tail off, like an eighth of an inch, excuse me. But you just kind of get it between your fingers, slide it right in there. Now we'll do the same as the weighted. So see, it is in there. It's got the little ridges, helps it keep in there. But so that if you do it wacky style, it'll kind of slide on you. So it'll slide down. It'll hit there first, but it will still flutter. So if you want to fish a little deeper docks, 6, 8, 10 foot, the weights really help. Sometimes when the fish, the water's warmer, you like the faster fall. So it's a little bit of experimentation. The fish usually tell you pretty quick how they want it, but that little weight there will sink you down to the bottom. Kind of a newer style it's come, or newer rigging method I should say, is the gilly rig. And it's the same concept as the wacky, but you kind of put it about where the gills are, which may be about 1 inch or 2 from the head. And you can put the weights in there if you like or whatever. So that gilly rig, they say, makes this tail a lot more action. So sometimes they'll key into that. But the main thing is fall rate. So I said usually I'd start out, just do it straight wacky rig or weightless Texas rig. Float down, see if you don't get anything, try some weights. And if I don't work, change the color. But I said green pumpkin, black and blue, that's your main two colors. Sometimes around the shad spawn you can use what a salt and pepper color, what they call it. So anyway, another little trick that I've learned. This is a weighted swim bait head. It's got the little lead here, lead weight. So you rig it just like you would anything else, like that other weightless. But this will glide a lot faster. If you want to skip it around docks, that little bit of weight will help you throw it. And that's how I throw it on casting gear, so it's a little heavier. But that weighted, it's called a swim bait hook. So you got that little bit of lead there, and you still got that offset. It works really well. Another bait or another hook a lot of guys use. In fact, Gary Yamamoto uses this a lot. The 3/0 EWG style. So you can use 3/0 EWG. This is Gamakatsu. Works real well. I said my favorite. 4/0 skip gap, or you can use what they call a 4. This is a 4/0 standard offset. So either one of those on the weightless Texas style will do good. But I said that skip gap's really performed for me lately. All right, one over trick 2. I said the 6 inch fat ace, or Yamamoto's got their version, the 6 inch. That's really good. I like it for flipping and pitching heavy cover. And what I'll do, I'll put a 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, depending on how heavy the cover is, this Texas style. And usually I'll use a straight shank, bigger, like a flipping hook, straight shank flipping hook. And that will penetrate your cover, and you just kind of shake it. Once you penetrate the cover, kind of shake a little bit. And on, I guess on the retrieve for the wacky worm, basically just let it flutter down. If you're not sure how deep, I'll just give it to a 10 count, and you'll see the line when it hits the bottom. Then what I'll do, I'll jerk it up once, and it'll flutter down. But 9 times out of 10, on that wacky style, you'll get the fish on the original cast and drop. You should hit it right in there. Sometimes you won't feel them hit. You'll pull up on it, and you'll feel weight. If you feel that weight, just kind of lean back into them. You don't have to set the hook real hard, especially if you're using spinning gear. Just kind of lean into them. That open hook will get them. And then on the weightless Texas style, I kind of go to the side. I'll go to the side hook them, but not real hard. Just kind of a steady pull into them. We call pull hook set. If you do that pull hook set on the spinning gear or casting gear, you'll get them. A lot of times they'll have it way in their mouth before you know it. They'll be chomping on it. And see, one other trick I've kind of learned. We got these little tail spinners now. This is a Humdinger from Humdinger. Got a little tail spinner. What you do on that? Usually you're gonna rig it Texas style. Take a little weight out here. So you can take the weight out, and it's just corkscrews in. So you'll just take it, kind of feed it in there. So that I'll tear. Usually it's easy if you tear a little bit of the worm off. About 1/8 inch on the back makes it a little easier, but this corkscrew in there pretty good. Some guys will actually take a little super glue and hold it in there. Basically, if you're a Texas rig, this little, it will twirl around like a little tail. Sometimes that really turns them on. And I even actually do that when I'm doing the flipping and pitching technique with the Senko. I said also the Senko, if you want to fish deep, real deep, I like to go with a 4 inch. I'll go a little 4 inch here. A little 4 inch for drop shotting. I said drop shot same way. You can hook it in the nose. Kind of hook it up in the nose like 1/8 of an inch, and it will flutter. Or you can do it the wacky style, either way, and you can fish drop shot unlimited amount, just depending on your weight, how long you wait to fall. But so you got nose hook on that on drop shot, or you can wacky rig it even in the middle, and it will flutter. So you throw your drop shot out, and you'll feel your weight. And what I do, I kill it, drop your rod about 10 inches, and that thing will flutter down. Pick it back up, and let it flutter down. And if you're next to a stump or a brush pile or whatever, that drives them crazy, because you ain't moving your lure, you're just going up and down. So, and usually I'll have it on, like, depending on what time of year, 14, 16, 18-inch leader from your weight up. That's pretty handy. Also on these 5 and 6 inch, you can use the old Carolina rig. I said I'll have some videos on the Carolina rig and drop shot in the near future. Kind of setups I use, what to use on it. But anyway, you just see how versatile it is. You can go from surface with the wacky rig, a little bit deeper. You can use wacky rig with a sinker. Use a little spinner there. That spinner's pretty cool little deal. It'll spin around like a little tail. I said you can almost buzz it on the surface if you wanted to. So that's a pretty cool little deal. And I said colors we kind of went over, but that's the basis of it. I said the local Walmart has the regular 5-inch Senko green pumpkin. You get that on the Walmart I've seen them at. I said Gambler. That's kind of my new favorite. Gambler has a good product there. I said your hook selection. You got a couple different hooks depending on what style you want. The O-rings. I said these little wacky tools, wacky worm tools. They're very expensive and they come with O-rings already. And you can see I got a Senko box full of them here. So yeah, especially it seems like on the local ponds, local lakes, smaller lakes, they really excel. I think they got a bunch of bluegill, and it really represents the bluegill kind of fluttering down, and I've caught some big fish on it this year, so it's made me a believer. So guys, hope you give us a try at your local lake. I hope I got you some tips maybe you didn't know, or if you got some tips I don't know, hey, share them below on my YouTube here, and share it with everybody. But like I said, though, get you a pack of those, go to your local lake, give it a try out, and I think you'll be surprised. It surprised me. I was stubborn for a long time and said, that stick worm, this old ugly cigar worm won't work, but it does. That flutter. When you throw it in the water, you'll see it flutter. Oh, we're one other color, kind of a secret color to pros, is the pink. I mean bubblegum they call it, but this is a Senko pink. Gambler also has the ones they call bubblegum, but actually sometimes when it's bright out, sometimes that works. It works on smallmouth, but it's pretty cool. Wacky worm it. Cast it out and you really see it come up shallow and you see the fish grab it because it's so bright. So, but that's the color might use, especially if you got smallmouth in your local lake. But I said those things, you'll be amazed how they shake and shimmy in the water. But guys, I think that's it for tonight. Like I said, that's my little boy. I just started him a tackle box, and first lure, kid you not, that I got Senko. Got him a pack of Senkos, and I'll give him a set of hooks next time. So that's how big a believer I am in it. It's an effective technique, easy technique. The lure almost works itself. So hang on, you'll get a few with it. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. And see, I got my 5'3" apparel on. Check them out at 5X3 Nation. They got some great hats and shirts, kind of on the cutting edge. They always got some neat designs, or they got a new hat out now. It's supposed to be the bomb. I got one on order. So, but anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Question, comment below, or if you got any tips I might have missed or I don't use. Hey, feel free to comment below and share with our friends. So, guys, appreciate you. Tight lines. Peace.